Bali, yung laban namin sa ACA, yung first game, kaya kami natalo kasi hindi namin napagplanuhan yung laban na yun. And nakuha nila yung mga OP champs, kaya medyo nag-suffer yung drafting namin. Then yung game 2, syempre, kailangan namin bumawi. Kaya kumuha kami ng mga aggressive champion, kaya yun, nanalo kami. Bali, kami MSK ngayon, nagpa-practice kami ng todo para mabalik namin yung dati namin form. And hindi kami papayag na matalo ulit kami. Gusto namin bumalik sa GPL, alam namin yung kaya naman namin. Kaya ngayon, babawi kami ng todo, saka mas lalakasan pa namin.
Indeed, they've been and they will, ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome you back in the second match. Game 1 of the fight between MSK versus Team Manila Eagles. Kami po yung magiging shoutcasters for this Pro Gaming Series. Day 2 ng ating Week 2. Summer Split, ladies and gents. Shibu with 149, and of course, with me is Amplifier.
Grabe, ito na yung highlight match of the day. As in,
Indeed.
Ito na yan. We're looking at MSK, no, na dating, at least previous split sila yung champion.
Yeah, so,
and then Team Manila Eagles na, again, like we said during yung earlier parts, no, na-surprise tayo sa performance nila, especially considering yung roster changes usually kailangan na tayo mag-adjust. Pero since yung roster change naganap siya between sister teams, na yung IPT tsaka yung Team Manila Eagles, more or less, gamay nila yung isa't isa eh. So, I'm actually very excited to see yung growth ng IPT tsaka ng TME considering yung roster changes. Kasi for those who don't know, yun kaya, yung roster changes, they're sister teams. Dati yung Team Manila Eagles, ang tawag sa kanila, IPT Blue. And then now, they've replaced some of yung top laners, yung nag-switch sila.
Yes,
tapos pati yung, sino pa ba yung nag-switch doon? Basta, I know yung top laners yung nag-switch. Tapos, I think jungler, I'm not so sure. Yung support.
Yes.
Yeah.
The running update on that is, it looks like, ano pa nga yun eh, parang relegation daw. Kay JLC, nilagay muna siya dun sa sister team. Because between these two, itong magkapatid na to, parang ang priority nga, parang ang nasa front runner would be IPT. But, you know, a team which actually was stopped on qualifying papasok sa playoffs ng previous split. Ngayon, they're undefeated. So far, sara natin dito sa PGS. Pero bago tayo humataw sa mga laban natin, nakikita nyo yung hashtag natin dito for our share and win promo. All you need to do is to share the Facebook live stream. Ito mismo, ladies and gents, publicly on your timeline with that hashtag na pinakita kanina. And of course, be sure to like the Garena Pro Gaming Series Facebook fan page. And yun nga, sa schedule natin ngayon, the highlight match, ladies and gents, two heavy-hitting teams. Right now, MSK versus Team Manila Eagles. Para naman sa match natin, ang tabayanan nyo rin po yan. TNC versus Jengski. Alam mo, isa sa mga pinaka-interesting stuff nga sa ating summer split ngayon are the roster changes. May roster changes nga rin sa TNC, if I'm not mistaken. Endless Ace is actually in
yung mid laner, si Hayes. Tapos bagong ADC, si Hai.
Ayun, si Hai pala. I'm sorry, there's Hai, ladies and gents. And as we mentioned, going back dito sa laban natin, Team Manila Eagles versus MSK. You mentioned that they, you know, sila actually yung what we call the running champions dito. And as you mentioned, as TG has mentioned kanina, gusto nila makabalik sa GPL and they know they can, no? I'm just really interested kasi yan pa lamang maglalaban itong dalawang teams na to.
Actually, kasi with looking at the form of MSK no, sa recent weeks natin, maraming nagduda kasi mukhang shaky yung form ng MSK currently, which is why I'm sure doon ang galing yung sinasabi ni TG na gusto nilang makabalik sa dati nilang form kasi although, syempre, champion sila ng previous split, that doesn't always carry over to the next split kasi syempre nagbabago yung meta, tapos nagkakaroon ng mga roster changes. Although wala namang roster change yung MSK except for yung jungler na si Nixta na yung naging substitute player. Yun nga, they're looking a bit shaky right now. Although MSK does have a habit na sa simula, parang hindi sila masyadong magaling, tapos biglang pagdating sa later part ng split, biglang gumagaling sila. So, I'd like to think ganun yung trend, no? Pero at the same time, Team TME, sobrang ibang team na to eh. Kasi they're a totally different mix now. Changing yung top laner, tsaka yung support, sobrang laki nun, especially considering na it was JLC na yung pinalitan. Alam naman natin kung gaano ka-importante si JLC, di ba, sa dating IPT. He was really a central player in that team. So to see him now in TME, parang sobrang ma-affect yung dynamic ng team.
It's just, yung performance si JLC nung previous split. Yun talaga what was put into question. Sa standings nga po natin, makikita nyo yung reflection ng sinasabi namin dito. Team Manila Eagles, 4 games pa lamang and they got 6 points to boot. That means, ladies and gents, wala pa silang talo. Ang kanilang win-lose ratio is 4-0. Yan. 4-0, whereas MSK actually dropped a game against Asian Arena.
Yeah.
Ayan, they actually drop again against Asian Arena as mentioned nga doon ng Mineski. Pero as you mentioned din, ito nga yung team na parang sa simula lang parang talo or what I wanna say is that alam mo yun, kung meron team na mag-expect ng kaya mag-adjust, Mineski yun.
Especially with the experience that they carry. No? Sabi yung article ng Mineski recently na parang household name na siya Yung Mineski, I think regardless of esports title, Mineski has always shown yung parang experience, veteran experience. Lalo na dito sa PGS na ang tagal na talaga, 3-4 years, imagine, na dito na sila. So,
qualify for the Worlds.
Yes, of course.
Worlds, diba? Nag-qualify for the Worlds. It cannot be denied, ladies and gents. So let's go. This is the drafting phase. Mineski once again versus TME.
Yes, so looking at the bans, Sejuani and Jarvan being banned on the side of Mineski, and then Ivern being banned on the side of Manila Eagles. So Ivern talagang permaban yan against Mineski kahit sinong team. I believe that's because they can flex that between both Hammers and TG.
Yeah.
Both mahilig sa Ivern. So we'll have to see the rest. Caitlyn also being banned against Zensho, so that's a pretty interesting ban. And Saya also being taken away. So pretty consistent ban throughout the day actually. Naban si Saya. So we'll have to see last ban
naman
remaining.
Si Marky, pag pumapasok ng bagong split, parang meron ka lang aantabayanan na ban. Last split was Jin and Ezreal. Ngayon, ito, Saya naman for Marky. So we're gonna be playing with Galio or Gragas na lang for the top lane. No chance, absolutely, of seeing any Maokai in this game. Sadly, of course, with the changes in him. Tingnan natin magiging sagot dito ng TME. I'm gonna be revealing their top lane. Thresh and Zac.
Yeah, gonna be left open. Usually, binaban siya. So, the moment it's left open, pretty much automatic. Tapos pati si Thresh, no, he's been seeing a lot more play recently, especially with the nerfs to a lot of the other supports.
Yes,
he has
and
been
changes
rising back up.
Mula mid-season patch nung Ancient Coin line. Kaya rin nagugustuhan si Thresh ngayon. He's just so good at collecting coins and souls, of course.
Tsaka ang ganda na scaling din niya, no? Kasi syempre, with the collecting of souls, your tankiness really scales well toward late game. So, he is really an indispensable support at the moment. Kasama siguro sila Braum, etc. So, Varus, another ADC, of course, na more or less experienced na rin si Zensho. And Tam Kench, also a favorite of TG, actually. So, comfort picks being locked in here by Mineski. We'll have to see how Manila Eagles responds. They don't have the AD carry yet. And looking at powerful picks,
my thought is they have to reveal. Yeah, either ADC na to ang kailangan pwedeng ilabas ng Manila Eagles now that the Varus is given. But
Shen, pwede.
Gonna be for the Shen. So, my guess is might be seeing a Caitlyn is banned here. What does Marky plays? I'm not so sure about the Jin pick though.
We'll have to see, no? Kasi
kung mag-Jin pa
nandiyan
or
pa naman si Ash.
Yun nga.
Kalista, for example. So, we'll have to see kung ano yung lock in niya. Pero
for the bans,
this is a pretty expected pick coming from CJLC, no? Locking in the Shen.
Yeah.
Of course, he can always go for those flanks. So we'll have to see Syndra being banned against Exosen. Yeah, he is used to those caster type AP carries, for example, like Orianna. So that's a pretty staple mid. Yeah, Jin being banned.
All focus on Marky here.
Oh, Kha'Zix also being taken away from Hammers.
Okay.
Considerable. Kasi usually Hammers also mostly playing carry jungler. So it's a pretty important ban.
Makikita mo dito that Mineski is really focusing on Marky, whereas Team Manila Eagles is really protecting Marky here. You know, removing champions which has a lot of capabilities to just go and dive the backline or even burst the backline. Tingnan natin as we are set for the second rotation ng picks natin. First, on Manila Eagles.
Yeah, mid lane pa rin, no?
Kalista.
Kalista.
Okay, so, yep.
That's actually quite nice, no? Thresh Kalista. That'll be a pretty interesting bot lane versus Varus and Tam Kench. Well, pag na-devour ni Tam Kench si Varus, no? Masasave ba siya sa ano tawag dito? Ni Kalista, yung burst niya? I actually don't think.
Actually, I mean,
so.
Yung red.
Actually don't think so. Yeah. Talia, okay. So Talia, another specialty also of Exosen, among others. And Gragas, Gragas, interesting. So Gragas jungle.
Yeah. We'll have to check on that kasi ang alam ko is that if you ignite someone, tapos dinevour mo yon, hindi mo natitigil yung ignite.
Mamamatay pa rin siya, di ba?
Mamamatay within. So I don't know if the red stacks would be removed. The moment na prines yun, you know, I got a feeling that the target would still die. I think the Tam Kench is actually a pick against the Thresh. Ayan. But right now we're gonna be seeing Talia so far.
This is interesting. Gragas jungle is not something we see. Actually, it is pala.
It
Looking
is.
at the national international scene at least. He was picked 10 times recently. So he's actually moving up, especially since they nerfed Graves, no? Ever since Graves got hurt during the early game, I believe it helped Gragas, among others, syempre, like Zac, syempre, tumaas din sila sa ranking. So he was actually picked more recently. But this is a guy that I haven't seen in a while in the jungle, especially nung time na nerf yung SS niya. Matagal siya nawala, no? Pero he's finally moving back up into the priority of jungle picks. So here are the final compositions. Looking at them, I don't know. I'm very interested kasi looking at the...
Very tricky comp na tong dalawang to.
Yeah, actually. It's actually pretty explosive kasi yung team Manila Eagles, lots of pick potential. No?
Yes, lots of pick potential. They actually have nice kits for reacting as well.
Yeah.
As well as for initiating in the hands of the Zac and Thresh. But their damage, one thing about their damage is it takes time to wrap up. Yan yung sure. Whereas Mineski, they have a more explosive comp.
Yeah, that's true.
One.
Kapag din yung mid-game, Talia and Varus will definitely hurt, no? During the mid-game. Unlike Kalista and Cass, usually 2 to 3 items pa yung kailangan.
Yeah, pero heavily dependent on setup. Yung sa Mineski. Whereas when things goes out to Team Manila Eagles, they have nice spills as well. Okay?
Yeah,
they got the Thresh, you know. Yes, alam natin immobile yung Kalista, pero given this, may Shen ka na. Maganda yung naibigay na protection dito kay Marky. Still, there's really a big question kasi so far, si Kalista din natin siya nakita on an overwhelming position bilang ADC. There's a buff on Kalista, you know, after the changes on the rent. Pero of course, there are better ADCs. Yun yung naging story dito. Yun yung naging kwento dito. So, it's gonna be a very interesting fight.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially since hindi natin madalas nakikita si Marky sa Kalista, no? We've often seen him on longer range AD carries, for example, like sila Jin. So, it will be interesting to see him on a very mobile, short-range ADC like Kalista. I'm interested to see kung siya pa rin ba yung makakapag-carry, no? Especially since you now have a Cassiopeia as well.
Yeah.
Very goal-dependent yung dalawa.
And Marky cannot be behind in this game, ha? Dalawa lang yung major source ng damage dito ng Team Manila Eagles. That is on Casio and of course Kalista. Whereas pagdating doon sa kabila, you still get the Gragas, you still have, well, UDC rin naman. Galio, and pagdating din kay EXO nga. Diba? On this Talia. Ayan. I'm actually like running equations on how this fight will pan out. I would consider pagdating ng level 6, maganda yung kit. Initiating kit ng Mineski. Yes. Pero ayun yung tanong kasi kahit ganun yung kit nga, meron pa rin Shen. Yun yung wala, kahit ganun.
It all falls down on execution, no?
Execution to
And that's why this is so exciting kasi pag tinitignan mo yung dalawang team, halos lahat veteran na kasi talaga So even with pros and cons on both compositions, it really falls down on execution.
Yeah, in the last split, we got Kaigu. You know, normally nagsisimula siya last split maglaro bilang conservative na top laner. Pero right now, you'd have to take up that consideration na even with this Galio. So, yun naman lang yung tanong, will it be a make or break para kay para dun sa top lane, kay JLC? Kung will he really wrap up? And di naman ganun katindang siya when he ramps up, diba? Ayan, ladies and gents. And as we mentioned, brace yourselves for this game. One thing's for sure, this is going to be very exciting. But before we head into the game, let's watch this video. Two crucial players, you know.
Very veteran players.
So, Trevor para sa Team Manila Eagles. They're mid laner, I would say. And of course, para sa Mineski, you know, there are some setbacks on relying on Zensho in the past. Pero on the past split, you know, Zensho has been monumental para sa Mineski, which allowed them to actually, you know, pave their way in making it to the GPL Championship nga ng PGS 2017 Spring. But here we go, Summoners. Once again, Mineski versus TME.
Yeah, I think yung experience talaga yung pinaka-interesting sa storyline ng dalawang to Kasi imagine si Zensho, medyo matagal din siya nawala at the time that War Gods was not around in the PGS. And then suddenly, bigla mo siya makita, pati si JLC tsaka si Light, bigla mo sila makita sa PGS. And then suddenly, they become such key players in the teams that pick them up. So, I think there would have been...
Si Galio din bigla lang
actually. Actually, oo nga. Pero, grabe, as in... I think sobrang sakto yung pagbalik ni Zensho sa scene Kasi it turns out, Exosen, who was once one of the best AD carries in the world, hindi naman in the world, pero in our region at least, no, in the Philippines, pag transition niya sa mid lane, ganun pa rin. No? He was still a very key member of his team despite switching from ADC to mid lane. And then comes in Zensho, and suddenly you have this entirely new team, no?
Same element, you know, na kung ano yung dinadala ni Zensho sa isang team. Yung parang talaga, you got a very aggressive late game, hyper carry, which is yun naman talagang gusto mong maging para sa ADC nyo, para sa team nyo. Now, just going back to Galio, I just realized na huling nakita natin to sa meta is Season 1, man.
Yes.
Panahon ng mga Kartus tsaka Amumu.
Grabe. Kartus. I remember those days.
Kartus actually has nice performance.
Actually, mas maganda siya ngayon. Yeah. I suggest to the mid-laners out there, try him out.
Check nyo lang. Yan. So, back in this game, of course, the standard start, the hot pick right now for the early game. Yeah, Doran Shield. Very weird. Papalitan to, hula ko lang.
Ano ba yan, di ba? What game do you see where yung mga may dalang mga bow and arrow, pagdating nila sa lane, shield yung dala nila?
Shield. Medyo hindi pasok sa banga itong ano.
Yung mga top laner yung naka-Doran's ring, tapos yung mga bot lane, Doran's shield.
Hindi si naka-Doran's shield eh.
Something's wrong, right? I think something's wrong.
With the nerfs on the lifesteal.
Yes.
Siyempre, tapos saan siyempre aasa, saan siyempre kukuha ng regeneration yung mga ADC natin. Boom, binigyan ng Doran Shield. No?
Lovely.
Of course, Tenacious, ayan, with the changes na maalam na rin tayo sa meta of aggressive supports. Now, merong reinstatement muli ng Thresh and Tampkench. This is the reflection naman ng international scene. I'm just really interested kasi there's actually a nice pickup din on Sona. Especially with the quest changes dun sa spell thieves, you know. Sa Frost Queen's Claim, ayan, that movement speed na nakukuha mo every proc ng Frost Queen's Claim, it actually works really well on Sona. Pero yung early game kasi yung habol mo dito. Yung early game kasi yung habol mo dito. Pag
interesting nga yung pinoint mo kanina na Cassiopeia and Kalista, no? Medyo late pa din sila magsiscale. So I'm wondering kung i-affect yun yung playstyle ng Mineski. Kasi usually when we see Mineski, diba, gaya na sinabi natin ng pick and ban, sila yung team na,
steady muna.
Dahan-dahan muna sila sa early to mid game. Tapos biglang, pagdating sa mga team fight sa late game, actually, early engage.
Ayan yung gagawin nila. Early game, mga kaibigan of First Blood. Given onto Exosen. Nice gang there by James. Blind body slam, predicting.
Very nice.
Predicting na mag-work si Trevor. Wow.
Ganda nun.
Galing ni James.
And that's an immediate first blood for Exosen. And we all know na kapag yung gold na papunta kay Exo, he really delivers, especially in champions like Orianna, like Dalia. He really is able to translate the lead from mid onto other lanes, especially bot lane. No? And sobrang crucial nun actually ng playstyle ng MSK kasi we all know that once Exo gets going, usually sumusunod lahat ng ibang members eh. Kasi because Exo's able to roam to the other lanes and he's able to translate yung lead niya from mid to the other lanes, because Zensho is also a key player, si Exosen, yung nakuha man niyang gold lead sa mid, dadalhin niya kay Zensho. Tapos yun, tuloy-tuloy na yun.
And he can do that. This is Atalia. You know, the Weaver's Wall easily delivers this champion onto the side lanes. So, tingnan natin after that pickup. But that was really kind of a luck setup din na nakuha ni James. Nice predict. Wala rin naman mawawala kay James doon kung hindi man mag-connect yung body slam na yun.
What I can see na maganda dito for Team Manila Eagles no, is that when you look at the carries of Mineski, si Talia at si Varus, they're actually very immobile. And the only way to save them is from Gragas and Tampkench. No? But because there's so much lock-in from TME, you have so much CC, yung taunt ni Shen, and then you've got Zac, and then you've got Thresh. Huge potential for picks. No? So if they can establish vision control sa lahat ng objectives tsaka deeper vision within Mineski's base, you can easily catch Exo and Zensho off guard and kill them quick enough. Especially since yung single target damage ni Kalista tsaka ni Cassiopeia, sobrang taas niya. So I'm hoping to see plays like that this game.
And palagi ko nga doon magkakatalo sa vision. You know, malaking bagay yung vision ngayon sa larong to, especially with this medyo mahigpit na composition na to. Especially knowing these players then. They don't easily give out ganong klaseng kills. Again, yung kay James kanina, I would have thought, diba? Trevor, that's what you do usually as the mid laner. By that time, you'd be landing that ward. It's just James has a new step and is one step ahead against Trevor there.
Yun yung mga yung mga indicator ng pro play, diba? It's when you can predict player behavior.
Oo, yan.
So, I remember, ano nga ba yun, there was a time na nagtatalo yung mga tao kung sino ba yung best jungler sa Korea, for example. So, you see junglers like Peanut, like Score, like Bengi. And usually, one of the definitive characteristics of a very experienced jungler is your ability to predict the behavior of your opponent. So, you can see, no, na sobrang laki factor talaga yun, especially kapag sa league kasi na ganito, di ba? Kapag dating sa mechanics, halos patay-patay na yung mga tao eh. So it really all comes down to the nitty-gritty details, you know, knowing the timing of certain things. And lahat yun, sobrang laking factor nun sa every single edge, no, when it comes to pro play matters. And things like that can land you first blood onto your mid laner, which is very big. And, you know, translating that kill, translating that lead as well, reading through that lead. Pero yung to assume nga na, ayun nga, kaya rin gawin yun ng kabilang team. But another camp of the Trevor puts in the ult. But of course, the clans would allow Exocet to move in. And Kaigu would be joining this fight with the teleport, getting burned here. No casualty in the mid lane. Yeah, so cleanse burned onto Exo, but TP advantage now for TME, no? Kasi nag-SS lang si Shen. Oops, trying to move in. Yeah, he managed to drag Exocet in. Connects the Q. Close. Seismic shove did not connect. Even the Unraveled Earth. Okay, and Red Valley, hindi pumasok. Okay. Yeah, sobrang lapit na. That could have been a burn onto Coop's passive, which might have been crucial for a Dragon fight. But it's only a Cloud Drake, so feeling ko walang papansin dyan. Yeah. Pero in any case, that is again, that's gonna be a TP advantage for JLC. So they might be able to set up a bot lane gank into Dragon or first turret after that. And we'll si Kaigo napunta sa bot. Sayang naman daw yung TP niya eh. Tara, tax natin to. Nilakad. And the interesting part here is, sana basa na ng TME kung anong plano dito. They're camping Trevor, clearly. Yeah. That's actually true, no? Putting... lane swap. Okay. Wait, did Marky flash? Yeah, he flashed. Okay, that was weird. Yeah. Okay lang. Baka na nire-refresh niya lang. Kinakabli break niya lang yung F4. He's typing something in letter F. I don't know. Nandun sa team niya. Alright, so... getting back into this game. Sayang yung flash na yun, ha? Sayang yun, ha? I'm not so sure kung nakita ba yun ni Kaigo kasi it does. You know? Considering it's a Kalista, pwedeng i-capitalize yun ng Mineski. Yeah, very true. Pero so there's a swap, no? Yeah, there's a swap. It's an interesting... Swap pulled off by Mineski. It's an interesting timing kasi usually... You know, okay, they're actually going to disable JLC and Trevor. Yun bang plano dito? But look at that, members of TME are here. JLC still low. Explosive Casual displays JLC. Now on the 200, below 200 health mark. But of course, Mineski would just call it quits. As you can see that Trevor is there. He has the flash available. He flashed in with a face check there. And that's connected onto 3G. 1-1 na lamang tayo dito with Exocet going up next. The Fate's Call connected to Zensho would be forced to flash out. And two members of Mineski goes down against TME. Again, that was very weird. Yung swap timing, I don't really know why it happened, but in any case, I'll have to check up on that later. Pero it cost them. It cost them 2 kills and that went to Trevor, no? So, kahit naka first blood itong si Exocet during the early game, nabawi siya because of that mistake that they made there. I have no idea why they committed that hard, no? Pero this is the problem is, since Zach's change on his kit, no, ang ganda na kasi napapadala niya yung kalaban papunta sa team niya. So, that was actually very helpful to help secure the double kill. Tapos nag-flash SS pa itong si Trevor. So, they were able to really slow down a lot of the members of Mineski. And I'm really trying to understand the lane swap there. Yung lane swap. The lane swap timing actually marked on the level 6. Pagpasok nung level 6. So, I'm not so sure if would it be Mineski bottom duo trying to prevent yung spike dito ng Thresh tsaka ng Kalista. Yeah, okay? I'm not so sure. Pero I'm not so sure kung ganun ba kalaki yun. Feeling ko nga, hindi siya feeling na, hindi naman ganun kalaki. Pero, isang one aim would be dun sa dalawa, JLC and Kaigu. I believe between the two, mas capable mag-farm under a 2v1 situation, si Kaigu. Ang Galio, kaysa sa isang Shen. Kasi so that's what I'm considering. Ang naisip ko kasi, I don't know, maybe we're reading too much into it. Kasi baka ang nangyari lang, since nasayang yung TP ni Kaigu, pumunta siya sa bot lane, tapos lumipat na yung bot lane sa taas. Ay, okay, sakto to. That's one. Okay, but nonetheless, we have a lane swap. And guys, ladies and gents, by design,
drop na ang lane swap, sa totoo lang. Okay, by design, because of the first blood start mechanic, changes.
Sobrang dami ginawa ng Riot para hindi mangyari to.
Yung lane swap, So, malaking surprise talaga ang lane swap, mga kaibigan.
Monty would cry, tears of bittersweet, I don't know, bittersweet tears from seeing this, no? Sa mga dating fans ng lane swap. Honestly, I actually kind of enjoyed that era. Pero this is happening for different reasons.
Yes.
Very, very different reasons.
Alright, so back into the game. Let's considering the lane swap here. You could see na yung kaninang binabahayan na ahas sa mid lane to 1-0 na.
Yeah.
After that fumble by Mineski in the top lane.
Now with a tier and a blasting one. But at least there's a Morellonomicon advantage for EXO. No? So at this stage of the game, Team Manila Eagles have to be wary of Exosen roaming around his SS, or rather his ult is up and...
Okay, so for the top lane, you can see that Zencio and the power of TME's execution. Hindi kailangang ipasok yung Pierce as Marky would still get the kill. Aris Kalista.
Okay, sobrang nagulat ako dun kasi biglang nagka-apat sa taas.
Yes, and fight still on Exosen. Seismic shot on the JLC. He will be grabbing the Dark Passage safety to his ally Shadow Dash as well. At least that stops TME and taking the first blood turret.
Grabe. So 4-1 on the kill score right now and a slight gold lead on the side of Team Manila Eagles. That's around 1,000 gold leads. Still no one's taking Dragon, but Rift Herald is up, which would be very useful, although I think that should be prioritized by Mineski, no?
Yeah.
Because like we said earlier, the time ticks for Mineski. Once Cassiopeia and Kalista get their item spikes, the damage of Varus and Thalia will fall off as the game progresses, so they want to be able to get that Rift Herald or any other turret for that matter.
And they get their item spikes actually. You know, Rod of Ages completed. Kanina meron ng Morellonomicon advantage. That is just for the reason na hindi pa umuwi si Trevor. Now Roa is completed and this is gonna be big. Do take note that Marky as well has the Blade of the Ruined King. There are nerfs on this guy, but considering if it's a Thalia, no item fits perfectly para sa kanya ngayon. And ayun nga, that's what's so lovely about Cassiopeia.
Lovely talaga.
Despite an awkward itemization na kailangan mong mag-Tear of the Goddess stock, hindi mo kasi kailangan bumili ng boots. That's one. So, parang yung Tear of the Goddess mo, ang kailangan mo na lang dyan is around 300 na lang, di ba? Para makakuha ka. And that's actually a sizable advantage. But with this setup, Mineski might be aiming to take this outer bottom lane turret. Goops would be!
Wow.
That's a double kill.
Yeah, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ito pa pala si Rox. And we along with the bottom lane. Outer turret. Mineski has a big win.
Yeah, so just like that, no, 2,000 gold leads swung back in Mineski's favor as well as getting that first blood turret gold. No, so wow, why did I not see Rox die?
Yun din eh. My eyes were set actually onto Goops there. But let's see though, there is a heal coming in from Zensha to sustain. Ham is there. The Q is not on max level. Actually, hindi mo siya on max level to actually put in the DOT onto Ham to get that kill. So, at least ult is on cooldown now for Trevor for this fight. Kaiku, he will be melting on the banks here of Trevor, but look at that, Zencho is here. These two teams love to fight in the front line. JLC, the Zeno na walang ult dito, si Trevor. Zencho is on the sidelines. Merong vision dito rin sa mid lane brush na to as Trevor would be chasing away, but the Twin Fangs in. One last devour, flash out maybe. Okay, Trevor has no mana. Yes, there's a flash out.
Wow.
Very intense fights.
Yeah,
you know?
very, very close. Actually, buti lang nakita ni Kaigo yung hook ni Rox in time to flash out. No? Otherwise, Kaigo would have actually gone down and that could have been a faster mid lane turret. But I think because of that, and because also Zensha was able to escape because of the Devour of TG, they were actually able to save this mid turret. Grabe, sobrang intense. No? Pero this mid lane, I don't think they'll be able to secure it. It's now going to be either about... they have to back because top lane is pushing. And bot lane's also pushing, so the fight will actually reset. Grabe. And then we might see a focus on Rift Herald after that. Pero,
sobrang gitgitan ng laban, mga kaibigan. But there's another fight. Okay, heroic entrance onto Goops. Do take note na may entrance din dito. Si JLC, do tags in the front line. And Marky delivers his support in the back line. Exosen is now gone. Look at that Kalista. Look at that Kalista. He's taking his free hits. Maybe not, as Hammers is there. He will be flashing away. Explosive cast displays him. And to shut down his lane into the ADC of TME. I think they'll call it quits 1-for-1 muli. between these two teams.
Grabe.
Yeah.
Just when we thought, no, magre-reset yung fight, biglang nagkatipay ulit. But it was 1-1. So there was actually even no objectives taken after.
Yeah.
But this might be a tempo lead for mid for TME because they will be able to push this, no? And that's going to be a Morellonomicon almost for Trevor. So grabe, at 16 minutes, Trevor's actually dealing an unprecedented amount of damage.
Yes, man.
He's 2-1 only, pero grabe yung lead na napupunta sa kanya just after 2 kills.
And that is the core difference between Talia and Cassiopeia.
Yeah.
Napaka-conditional ng damage ni Talia if you compare to Cassiopeia.
I actually hate her.
No.
As in, love na love ko yung theme ni Talia. You know, it kind of reminds me of Earthbending, which I'm a big fan of, you know, Avatar,
and
everything.
Actually, she is a champion na designed with a Filipino team. Filipino team.
Pero, sadly, I hate her damage. So, I really don't know how to use her. I really suck with her, sadly. Buti lang si EXO, na-enjoy pa niya eh. Pero ako talaga wala. So that's the sad thing, no? Cassiopeia, because of those 2 kills that she was able to secure around 11, 12 minutes in, ang sakit na niya. So now, MSK's under even more pressure to secure a couple of picks kasi Varus isn't actually snowballing right now. So, if Talia is not going to be dealing any damage anymore, then Zensho is the only damage dealer left. And so they're reliant on all other members of MSK to set up for Zensho. Pero ang ganda rin kasi ng synergy ng TME, they're using their engage so well. For example, yung nakita nating 4-man top lane kanina, ang ganda niyan tignan eh. So I'm wondering if we're going to see more of that. But nevertheless, no, MSK still has a 2,000 gold lead.
I'm actually very interested kung yung Courage of the Colossus ba ni Rox, nagpo-proc ba yan habang nasa Fate's Call? My guess is hindi. Hindi. Pero, it's very interesting to support picking up Courage of the Colossus. It's no surprise. Sometimes kasi there was the time, last time I recalled, merong hot mastery pick kay Thresh. It was Thunderlord's Degree. You know, Mad Life, very aggressive na Thresh. This time, Courage of the Colossus, mainly talaga to soak up a lot of damage para sa backline dito ng TME. TG with a face check, Dick Skid. Kailangan nang i-activate to, teleport now as JLC canceled it. Not gonna be joining this fight.
Okay, actually TP burn there from JLC, but also an alt burn from Marky. So there is a slight advantage now on MSK's side, no? Kasi they have the cooldown advantage and Hero's entrance from Galio.
Okay, that's entrance onto Rox. But of course, there's the heroic entrance na tinakbuhan lamang dito ni Rox. He still go down on the explosive cast. Do take note na anong panghuli nila ngayon kay Marky. He's still keeping his distance. Doesn't want to get punched here by Justice mula dito sa Galio. And do take note, wala ring teleport nga si JLC. But Stand United is still available.
And mid laners coming in.
Okay, in the front line, Stand United will be put onto Ghost. And there is Marky. Here comes TG as they collapse onto the ADC. Still, Marky's taking all those free hits. Lots of damage getting soaked up here by Mineski as Exocen would be joining this fight. Malilate ng dating si Trevor. Can he make it in time? And Marky gets clapped on. Trevor is here. May take the kill onto Hammers. Green Fang. Not quite! Buhay pa rin si Hammers as they collapse into Trevor. And this is gonna be Mineski's game. They take members of the 3 in exchange of none.
Yikes. So that took a really big turn for the worse, no, for Mineski. The thing is kasi sobrang haba ng fight, and then TME actually was gonna re-engage under turret, expecting, I think, Trevor to get there in time. But the thing is, Exocen used the Weaver's Wall to keep, I think, Trevor from getting there in time. No? So, in terms of timing, Exocen was there really just in the nick of time. I think Team Manila Eagles shouldn't have re-engaged under the turret. They probably should have just backed out. Kasi right now, even though Mineski has the lead, Team Manila Eagles actually shouldn't feel the need to meet their tempo. Kasi they can wait it out actually up until the late game just to wait for Trevor and Marky to secure their items. There is no need for them to contest every single objective. It's actually Mineski kasi that's under pressure. So that actually cost them, and this will give Mineski an opportunity to play with either of the objectives, Dragon or Baron. They can actually choose now. Ang maganda kasi, if TME just let them take the turret, then they could have contested for another objective. But now, the gold lead is now 5,000 because of that single fight.
Yeah, 3 turrets din ang nakuha dito ng Mineski. That's one. Good thing wala nang dito. I'm not so sure kung meron nakabaon. I'm not seeing the referral. Yes, So walang nakakuha ng referral dito, but that's gonna be Drake. You know, 1 for 1. Cloud Drake pala yung nasa TME. Bonus regeneration from the Ocean Drake on
This is
Mineski.
prep for Baron. Scuttle, though, is on TME, so I don't think Mineski will take this. They're actually... Oh, wow! Okay. Yeah, actually, because they were able to push out bot lane, no? So we can see Zentra's pushing in. No vision. So this will actually work.
Wow.
Ang layo ni Gragas.
Yeah.
But the Weaver's Wall's here.
Kaigo has an idea.
Okay.
Weaver's Wall there. Let's see.
Oh, actually, they won't be able to escape here.
JLC has the Shadow Dash. Marky, though, would be forced to flash away. Okay,
wow,
so...
they get away with it.
JLC was forced to flash out, so two flash. Baron exchange of none? No.
Baron
That's the
exchange
outer.
of mid.
Okay, outer mid.
Okay.
Let's see. TME has to do something.
Yeah,
with this
tingnan
buff.
natin, no. I can't say that play was completely on TME's advantage, no. Kasi even though they were able to, usually, if you get Baron, when your waves aren't all pushed in your favor, usually may masasacrifice dyan eh. So in the side of TME, even though they were able to get Baron, because their mid lane was pushing, they lost this mid lane. So now it's all up to Mineski to decide whether or not they will allow that Baron take to be fully in TME's benefit, no?
Kasi ang taas ng zone control dito ng Mineski.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna pull off a siege, there is a Gragas. There's even a time catch that could flank you. Or even if you like converge on a certain point, ang dali nyong mapipigilan ng corrupted chains.
So we'll have to see, no? Mineski, the ball is in TME's hands because they do have the Baron, and Shen is actually still pushing, so they're going 0-4-1. Yun lang. The damage is the concern now. Kasi 2 items na si Kalista, and also Trevor, 2 items as well. So masakit na yan dalawa. It's all a matter of if Mineski can secure the key targets first. We'll have to see. Yeah,
you could see Titanic Hydra completed here by JLC. Talagang namaalam na yung sa entire cape, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, still gonna go after the push. Do take note that Kaigo is losing this one, But of course, he needs to watch out kasi pwedeng makarating si EXO dito sa bot lane.
Yeah, keep in mind, Kaigo, no, adoptive helm, so he's built to tank Trevor, not JLC. So, in case of a duel, si JLC talaga mananalo dyan. So, this is pretty good actually from TME kasi even though Kaigo tries to defend, naturally, JLC will be the one pushing the lane and not Kaigo. Hindi mafi-freeze ni Kaigo yung lane eh. So now, all the pressure, especially with Baron, yan. They were able to take this turret. And now, TME has the freedom to secure kills, especially with their pick composition. TP and Stand United are both up as well. We'll see if TME can actually secure anything. But so far, Mineski,
okay, gonna go all in on JLC.
Will they be able to?
For him?
Medyo matagal to.
Matagal-tagal to, pero walang rest po eh. He might be opening for Trevor. Okay, there's the poison.
Yeah. Actually,
he's actually walking towards...
TME burned DG's ult because of that.
Shadow Dash then.
So they were actually able to move a lot of Mineski's members down to bot lane. That's giving Marky the freedom to push top lane, and I think they'll secure their 5th turret.
Yeah.
So that's pretty big.
ang tindi ng rotation na to. Because usually, with that kind of tension building up in bot lane tsaka sa mid lane, kailangan kasama nyo yung ADC nyo. But no, sige! Marky split push.
Yeah. So that's gonna be an almost mid outer turret plus an almost top inner turret. No? So somewhat worth yung Baron. They were able to almost secure a lot of... Actually, no, that's really worth. Actually, they were able to really push in.
And I can't help but feel that both of these two teams, mainly on TME, this time, visibly, they're just doing calls on the fly.
Yeah.
They're just doing calls on the fly.
Actually.
Go mo na yan.
Kasi it's not even bad that they're doing that eh. Kasi they have the... Yun na nga eh, gaya yung sinabi ko kanina, because of the Baron take, hindi nakapitalize na Mineski yung wasted time taking Baron. So now, TME, literally, they're really free to choose whatever they want to do. So they have, kumbaga yung parang privilege to make calls on the fly to just secure any objectives that they want. But now, it's expired, so Infernal Drake will be the next one to take. Yeah,
and as you mentioned, kanina, TME has a composition which has a nice peel. That's one, okay? They have a kit as well, which is good for reactive play. So, kailangan huminay-hinay din ng Mineski dito. Kaya, kanina nung sumisige yung TME, Yung comp nila hindi kasi talaga for aggression eh.
Yeah.
Plus yung comp naman ng Mineski has lots of kit for countering a siege. Kaya napahirap din talaga sa Mineski despite having sa TME, despite having Baron on pushing this lane. So gumawa sila ng mga splits, you know.
Actually, looking at both team compositions, medyo similar sila in the sense na maganda yung parehong peel and engage nila eh. The thing is, kahit magkapareho sila in that sense, when it comes to the damage dealt, when an engage happens, it's now in favor of TME because of the scaling of Cassiopeia and Kalista. So the pressure is on Mineski to execute better than TME kasi mas mahina na yung damage nila at this point in the game.
Yeah, and everyone's gonna be setting up for this Infernal break.
That's how you win a pro game.
Yes, that's one
Down
thing I'm
to
sure.
The macro.
It's an usual setup. 4 members on the bot lane or mid lane side. Top lane's gonna be left in the... Top lane's gonna be left. Magduduel sila dun sa taas. Pero tingnan natin, iwanan si Exocet dito for the Dragon Fight. A flash is on cooldown. Reverse wall.
Yikes. Mali yun.
Now, 2 crucial cooldowns burnt here against Mineski. Still nandun pa rin. Sila Tapkage TG delivered. James in. And Marky will be forced to flash away. That's 4 members already of Mineski. And JLC will be channeling the Stand United. Didn't manage to kill Marky. This is TME's game. Sensu is now going solo. Exocet as well. And no cooldowns. The flash. The summoner spells. And Trevor is here to clean up. 3 members gone for Mineski. And the Drake has spawned in this game. The chase is still on. Will Rox manage to land a death sentence? And I think that's it.
Just like you said, no? Sobrang ganda ng counter-engage ng TME. Again, the pressure is always on Mineski at this point in the game to properly execute yung engage. Pero nakita kasi natin, medyo pilit eh. They really try to force the engage.
Yung Weaver's Wall, yung mali.
Exo's Weaver's Wall was supposed to lock them in the tribe bush so that the rest of the team could sort of sandwich them in that area. Pero since nagkamali yun, Mineski, feeling the pressure to try and engage and go for a kill, napilitan tuloy si TG, no, na pumasok. And that really, really backfired on them kasi they weren't actually able to lock down Marky. So by the end of all their abilities were already spilled, Marky was still alive. Trevor was on the way. Wala na. That definitely went in favor of TME. So now Baron is spawning in around 10 seconds. And yeah, we'll take a look at that replay, no. Yun, nagkamali yung Weaver's Wall. This is where they went wrong. Pinilit nila. And at that point, JLC, he was already able to push top lane. Now the Stand United comes in. The Hero's Entrance totally fails. Actually, walang na knock up. And at this point, because Marky is still not dead and Trevor's already on the way, Stand United comes in. Marky just has to free hit. All the cooldowns of Mineski are already over. And at that point, it's just a cleanup pretty much from TME. Because, again, the pressure's on Mineski's engage. If Mineski fails the first time to engage and the carry is still alive, they should just back. Otherwise, yung counter-engage in TME, it will really hurt them.
Imagine if you save the Weaver's Wall for that counter-engage. Napigilan mo sana yung engage doon ng Team Manila Eagle. Pero, that's actually, you'd have to give it to EXO. Had it been na dumaan yung TME sa Tribe Rush, it would be a different story. Kaso, may minions kasi dun sa bottom lane eh. Talagang lilipat dun yung ano, if you wanna be efficient, you'd go for the bot lane and farm that stack up minion. And what I wanna mention as well is, nung tumayo si Marky doon sa side brush, hindi ka agad siya na target talaga. Nila James, nawala yung vision. And not to mention, hindi pa nga na-proc ni Marky yung red kay ano eh. Kay James kanina.
Pilit talaga siya. Pilit yung engage. Mineski shouldn't have gone for that, and yung Weaver's Wall din talagang mali rin yun eh. So, we'll have to see how Mineski tries to bounce back from this, because now the gold lead, which was 5,000 earlier in favor of Mineski, is now 1,000 in favor of TME. So this is really where Team Manila Eagles composition will shine, because 3 core items per carry, it's official, plus Quicksilver Sash for Marky. So, yun pa. Aside from the fact that Mineski has to land their execution perfectly, kapag na Quicksilver Sash lang yun ni Marky, and then yung Lantern ni Rox, it just makes it so difficult for Mineski. So they really have to be able to secure stuff here. But now it's really TME's game.
And you'd have to give it to these two teams then.
Yeah.
You know, this game is heavily dependent on execution. Ayun
really
kasi yung problema. Kaya pansin nyo mga summoners, pasahan. Pasahan ng ano ng mali. Kanina may panalo yung Mineski sa top lane, then sa bottom lane natalo yung natalo yung Mineski. Even until now, 49, that's just only a 2K gold lead there by TME after that victory. So, even with that result in the bot lane, medyo, but we have to account na nag-skill nga dito si Cassiopeia and Kalista. depende pa rin sa execution, yung sunod na laban. There's a good chance na pwede pang manalo pa doon yung Mineski.
Definitely true. Now, Baron is the objective. Nakapag-push na si JLC sa bot lane. So that's going to be giving TME an opening to take this Baron kasi medyo oh, actually, I thought Zensha was going to go to bot lane to push that out. So medyo delikado ngayon yung Mineski, no?
Kasi may
now
stack
they
sa
have
bot
to
lane.
think bot lane or Baron, bot lane or Baron. Plus, dalawang global itong si JLC. He can choose to TP. He can choose to stand united. Ang daming options sa TME ngayon. So it's all, again, it's all about the execution. Vision control, though, is in favor of TME. So we'll have to see. Every small decision that's made from here on can really give away the game and secure the victory.
You take note. Palakad pa lamang si Amis dito. There's a recall. I think that kind of vision should be enough. Walang idea ang TME na pa-recall si TG dito. They have to call it quits.
I just noticed now, that's good kasi yung ginawa nila, Zensha was moving to bot lane at first but he moved to Baron and then Kaigu recalled so he could be the one to push bot lane instead kasi siya yung may TP so tama lang yun. Now we'll have to see though if he can stop this kasi JLC,
again,
like we've noticed now, ipupush lang niya na ipupush
si Kaigu. Though may armor naman na si Kaigu dito, but still, JLC would continue the push. That's one thing.
Whoops.
Okay, this is not good though. Hamish with a pick off. That sentence is very punishing. Buti na lang wala pang binurn si Hamish doon na summoner spell.
Yeah, good thing he still has flash, pero they're going to lose a smite. If TME clears this and goes for Baron, GLC is also pushing. This will be a pretty easy Baron, and Hamish has no health. He didn't recall. So he's really low. Can he steal?
Yes. And Marky!
Okay. Buti lang
no.
Buti lang nandun yun Kung wala yun, patay yun.
May vision siya,
may flash naman siya. Pero sobrang delikado nun, Marky.
Men. Ano kung inano siya doon? Point blank corrupted chains, diba?
Wala yun, patay yun. Buti na lang. Well, this is really intense now. JLC is still pushing bot lane. And Vision is still in favor of TME. They're just waiting for the go signal. Grand entrance. Actually, Kaigu is already moving. Kaigu is still confused kasi they're thinking of whether or not to engage now. Kasi the moment na sinimulan na ng Mineski yung Baron, or rather ng TME yung Baron, that will really put Mineski in a very bad place of having to give up either Baron or their bot lane.
But these are small deaths lang din sa bottom lane inhibitor turret. So, this might result to a standstill. Depende sa bilang actually ng ward na hawak nila. Right now, ubus na yung ward stacks dito ni Rox
It's
so, they'd have to call it quits. So, I think they have to reset. May dalawang wards pang hawak si TG and even Mineski would have to reset. Okay.
Kasi at this point, ang mangyayari lang is maghihintay lang sila na may isang magkakamali Tapos doon lang magkakaroon ng engage. But since both of them are very, very careful, it's gonna reset.
Look at that. Look at Rox. Tatlong control ward.
That's how you play.
Yeah.
That's how you support.
Patagalan sa standstill. Look at TG. Dalawang control ward. Ganyan ang bigayan dyan, mga kaibigan. So, let's see if the play will still continue. Do take note, though, that an Ocean Drake is available. Dito sa bottom lane side. So, that actually changes the stresses dito sa ating mapa. Pero, I definitely say it na whoever gets a Baron would have an obvious.
Yeah, definitely. 34 minutes in. And still no significant gold lead from either side. Pero like we said, the scaling on Cassiopeia and Kalista still obviously that puts time in favor of TME. So Mineski just being very careful. Kasi alam na Mineski isang mali lang that will cost them the game.
Okay, so they're sending Marky and Trevor. Ocean Drake. So small lead here by TME. So very interesting, no? Kasi kahit yung Baron nakaharap sa Mineski, it's like mas may control yung Team Manila Eagles dito because they have the reactive comp.
Actually, pwede na rin sila mag-engage at this point because of the core items that Cassiopeia and Kalista have already locked in. We'll just have to see if they will bait or if they'll just go straight for the Baron. Kasi that's the thing, you can't steal. Well, it's not that you can't, but there's a 1% chance you can steal from a team that has Kalista.
Or maybe killing Rox should be enough.
Oh no.
Fate's call on cooldown.
Yeah, so that's pretty big actually.
Yeah, that's big
And JLC is going to push. Actually, Mineski can choose to engage now habang wala while JLC still has to push this. Pero yeah, TME, they know that they're at a disadvantage so they're going to be backing out now. Will MSK go for Baron, actually?
They are hovering.
They will.
They will?
They will.
Okay.
No Fate's Call.
Yeah, this is
Zax moving in.
a fast Baron, pero mapanganib to. Yun ang sasabihin ko, mga kaibigan. And in the pit, there is Cubs. In the backline, there's JLC. Where is the damage? Trevor stops on these tracks. And Cubs getting melted, delivered. PG here. The thick skin is not yet activated.
Oh.
Trevor is there. The ultimate mula kay Trevor. Still not enough as the cleanse is on mula kay Exo. Said, heroic entrance gets the knockoff. A triple kill from JLC with Marky getting all the free hits. Reds pops in Kaigu, and 4 members of MSK sent to heaven. That is the mistake. Initiate the Baron early, and you see your members 4 are gone in this fight.
It was a 50-50 for MSK. Hindi kasi nila alam, do we wait for TME to be the one to engage the Baron and then kill them, or do we bait them into the Baron? The problem was, walang vision yung MSK. So they had no idea how to go into that fight. They didn't know what angles TME was going to come from. And that was, I think that was actually the wrong play to go for. Kasi, again, you went for the Baron against a late game scaling team where you had no vision. Look at this, no? So they really didn't have any vision. They had no idea GLC was going to flank from the back line and secure and keep busy 4 members.
Yeah.
And I think one of the most important factors at this point to remember is that nag-fall off na yung damage ng carries ng MSK.
Yes.
So even though it seemed like an even fight at first, the damage from Cassiopeia and Marky, who by the way was free hitting at the back the entire time, would naturally really make TME win that fight. So at this point, really, unless MSK is able to catch someone off guard from TME, TME will always win the even fight.
Oh, man, I'm actually thinking kung yung Weaver's Wall nanggaling mula dun sa mid-lane brush, tapos kinuveran yung daanan mula dun sa red.
Yeah.
Pag pa-slant, so nakakoveran yung Raptor.
Yeah.
Pero may vision dun eh. Pero still, that's a very risky play.
Yeah, it was a huge risk play.
Yeah, it reminds me of GPL actually.
High risk, high reward siya, no? Kasi if you get the Baron, then that will help to prolong the game.
Yeah.
But if you don't get it, and you lose a team fight, ayan, nagka 6,000 gold lead in TME's favor plus the Baron. So further digging their grave. MSK is really having a difficult time now.
I think that would be the... Actually, this is very reminiscent of GPL. Talia, tapos may Baron calls. I'm not so sure. Right now, it can be done here by MSK. Would be to wait out for a mistake.
Yeah.
You know, burn this Baron mula sa Team Manila Eagles.
Yeah.
Because again, we'd have to understand the nature nung damage nga ng champions dito ng MSK.
And this is what I don't like, no? Kapag yung ginagawa ng MSK, ginagawa nilang utility-oriented si EXO, they lose the potential for an extra carry. But because, well actually, we can watch this.
Another trade up here in a bot lane. Pero that's JLC overstaying his welcome in the bot lane. Walang respo dito, but at least that's a -1. But might be on TG though. Heroic entrance would deliver Kaigu for this fight. James would be there. Can he land? He's actually aiming to land that explosive gas, but Trevor goes in big with the ultimate petrifying gaze of the 3 members dito ng MSK. It's a 4v5. The battle though with the allies dito para sa TME. Rocks would be soaking up a lot of damage. And look at Marky. He's just getting all the frees that he needs. All in on to Kaigu. From the red stack, Marky managed to survive. 300 gold for him. Now on to TG. The fans and the spears from these 2 ladies from TME. A triple kill for Marky and an ace for their team.
You know it's bad when you go for a 4v5 tapos sobra sakto na ng engage nyo pero talo pa rin kayo sa 4v5.
That Weaver's Wall is good, ha?
Yeah, he was actually able to lock Marky in, but despite the proper engage, hirap na talaga yung carries ng MSK na maabot yung carries ng TME, and even if they can reach them, the damage is just not enough.
Yeah, and the reactive play. Ladies and gents, ang ganda ng Weaver's Wall doon ni EXO. Okay, but that's the signal for MSK to go all in. Even James to really dive. But what happened? Trevor.
Yeah.
Trevor ultimate. Victory for TME.
Grabe, so a really intense match, but congratulations to Team Manila Eagles. No? So again,
what a game.
Yeah, MSK, I really, like I was saying earlier, no, I don't like it when MSK puts EXO on a champion na hindi siya makakapagsalo sa pag-carry during the mid to late game. So when you put him on champions like Talia that really don't reliably deal damage, you've put all of your eggs in Zencho's basket when he's on a Varus. But Varus isn't even considered like a hard carry. So you have effectively falling off carries. And I think when you consider Mineski's strength na they tend to pick up as the game progresses, why would you lock in a team composition where you fall off towards the late game? So I think it makes much more sense for Mineski's identity na mag-lock in talaga sila ng mid to late game na carry, because I think that's where they shine. It's the experience as the game progresses.
Mid lane with a big ultimate.
Yeah.
I mean, Weaver's Wall, they're very tricky conditions to put the Weaver's Wall. One thing I know about Weaver's Wall, it doesn't deal damage. That's one. Okay? Though there's really high damage output naman. Mula kay Exosen, given the reflections on this one compared even to Talia. That's what makes the Talia pick attractive. Pero on the team fight, again, napaka-punishing kung hindi you don't have that ideal, the word would be ideal on the Weaver's Wall. You could see how Trevor countered that play. Okay, a really nice Weaver's Wall comes in from EXO for that final fight. And I was thinking, yun na mahuhuli na si Marky dito. Kasi trap na talaga eh. And go for the Petrifying Gaze. 3 members.
Kasi the thing is, we know EXO, even though, yes, okay, ang dami niya na din na damage. He had the most dealt damage, but it wasn't translating into kills on priority targets. That's the most significant part eh. We know Mineski, Exosen to be the guy who used to play LeBlanc, Fizz, Kassadin. He was the guy who's securing kills onto key targets, even though it was so difficult. So I really think it's a waste of potential when you put him on a champion like Talia.
The mid-game fights, diba? The mid-game fights, dun natin pinaka parang kilala eh, dun si EXO eh. And not just this damage dealing EXO, talagang killing yung pumapatay na EXO. Tingnan natin dun sa game to, kasi ito yung game, kahit nanalo yung TME dito, hindi ito yung game na masasabi mong ay, TME na yung game to, kasi my oh my, it's a very, ang bigat niya sa utak na game. Seryoso, ilang moment tayo na nahimik dun lang sa Baron stand-up na yun. Just knowing the capabilities of these two teams. Meron pa kaming share and win promo, ladies and gentlemen. At sabi nga namin, Game 2 pa nitong dalawang matinding team na to. Team Manila Eagles versus Mineski. League of Legends, ladies and gentlemen, kami po yung naging shoutcasters for that game. I am Shinbu with a 1 for an high with my partner, Amplifier. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Game 1 of the second match here on the second day of the second week of the Pro Gaming Series 2017 Summer Split powered by Bacchus Energy Drink. See you in the next game. Versus support in the back line. Exosen is now gone. Look at that Kalista. Look at that Kalista. He's taking his free hits. Maybe not, as Hammers is there. He will be flashing away. Explosive cast displays him. And the shutdown is laid into the ADC of TME. I think they'll call it next one. Okay, in the front line, Stat United will be put onto Cooks. And there is Marky. Here comes TG as they collapse onto the ADC. Still, Marky's taking all those free hits. Lots of damage getting soaked up here by Mineski as Exosen will be joining this fight. Malilate na dating si Trevor. Can he make it in time? And Marky gets clapped on. Trevor is here. May take the kill onto Hammers. Swing back. Not quite. Buhay pa rin si Hammers as they collapse to Trevor. And this is gonna be Mineski's game. They take members. Still nandun pa rin. Sila Tapage TG delivered. Hammers in. And Marky will be forced to flash away. That's 4 members already of Mineski. And JLC will be channeling the Stat United. Did advantage to kill Marky. This is TME's game. Zencho is now going solo. Exosen as well. As no cooldowns. The flash. The summoner spells. And Trevor is here to clean up. 3 members gone for Mineski. Mga kaibigan. And in the pit, there is Cubs. In the backline, there's JLC. Where is the damage? Trevor stops on his tracks. And Cubs getting melted. Delivered TG here. The tick skin is not yet activated. Trevor is there. The ultimate. Mula kay Trevor. Still not enough as the cleanse on mula kay Exosen. Heroic entrance gets the knock-off. A triple kill from JLC. With Marky getting all the free hits. Reds pops in Kaigu. And 4 members of Mineski set to heaven. That explosive dash, but Trevor goes in big with the ultimate petrifying gaze of the 3 members. Dito ng Mineski, it's a 4v5. The battle though with the allies dito para sa TME. Rocks soaking up a lot of damage. And look at Marky. He's just getting all the free hits that he needs. All in on to Kaigu. From the red stack, Marky managed to survive. 300 gold for him. Now on to DG. The fans and the spears from these 2 ladies from TME. A triple kill for Marky and an ace. Okay, but that's the signal for MSK to go all in. Even James to really dive. But what happened? Trevor.
Yeah.
Trevor ultimate.
I have one simple rule when it comes to the law.